welcome back to another video of SUP'S Doing It Yourself. So as you can see behind me, we have a CBR, and this is not just any kind of ordinary CBR. This is actually a 2014 CBR SP, and we won't be doing anything major to this bike. We're just basically going to change the oil, chain replacement, along with the sprockets front and rear. I'll leave a phone mount. It could be more convenient for the rider to have the phone right there in the display of the speedometer area. I'll show you a little bit of the difference between the regular RR and the SP model. First thing we're going to start off with, guys, is the Öhlings front suspension, and also the brake calipers, Brembo, and the steel braided lines. On the stock CBRs, you don't see those kind of parts. I'll show you that right now. So this is what comes with the stock CBR, guys. As you can see, the brake caliper is different. Also comes with the Showa forks, front suspension. And on the rear, on the SP model, we have Öhlings rear suspension as well. And as you can see on the stock CBRs, comes with the Showa rear suspension, guys. And clearly you can see the color difference on the frame. If I'm not mistaken, this frame is actually a little lighter than the stock CBR frame we have here. So moving along, guys, as you can see, this chain is completely worn out. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this rear sprocket, and we're gonna have to take some covers off to get to the front sprocket. And then finally, we'll be replacing that chain there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by using the chain tool. So the first thing I'll be doing, guys, is using the chain tool to remove one of these links. And that I could easily go ahead and take off the chain, get that out of the way, and take this rear tire off a lot easier than trying to get this chain off the sprocket. So let's get started. The next thing we're gonna do, guys, is remove the rear axle nut, and then as I'm there, I'm gonna go ahead and put my adjustments all the way forward just to get that out of the way, because I'm gonna have to do it anyway. And for this bike, it will be a size 32 socket, and just get a breaker bar and you should be good. A little bit of advice when you're taking anything apart, especially if it's both sides, do your best to just keep your stuff whatever side it came off of on that side. So for example, I got my spacer, my washer, and my nut for the axle on this side, and I also have where the axle came from, which was the left side, and I have my spacer for the left side. And the only reason I say that, guys, long time ago when I started this, I'd always throw my parts together, and that can be a bit confusing. Also, while we're gonna put this axle back, we're gonna go ahead and lubricate this. This is not supposed to be dry like this. Make sure this is fully lubricated when it gets back in. So here we have our old sprocket. We're gonna go ahead and remove the nuts on this sprocket and go ahead and put the new one on. For these nuts on this rear sprocket, should be a size 17 to get them all out. Alright, guys, so be careful not to lose any of these studs. Definitely don't want to put this back on and one of the bolts are missing. Also, make sure that these rubber spacers are sitting exactly how they are now, because all you're going to do is put the hub back in and tighten everything up and put the wheel back on the bike. So these washers are on the sprocket as well. Keep in mind, don't lose those either, because you're going to have to put those back on as well. So to remove a sprocket, just pull up, comes right out of the hub. We're going to put this aside and not mess with it just yet. We're going to get our washers off. Okay, so we have no use for this old one anymore. Let's go ahead and grab the new one. So what we're going to be putting on here is a DID chain. I usually just put DID chains or RK or EK, but obviously there's a lot of options out there, guys. I'm not saying you should choose these. It's just my preference. Both sprockets should be pretty heavy duty, and this person specifically wanted this color. Just try his best to match with the bike, so it's a pretty nice sprocket. I like the two-tone. It looks pretty shiny. I don't think you can tell as much on camera, but in person it's pretty nice. So let's go ahead and put this back on the hub and continue on. Also, when putting these studs back on, as you can see, there's a flat side there. That flat side goes towards the hub so it could fit in there flush. And what I mean by that is, as you can see, when we're about to put this back on here, here's the flat side that the stud needs to hit. Nice and smooth. Push it in all the way and we are good. We got our first stud in. This next part, guys, you don't have to do, but I like when I'm putting all new stuff on, I want to make sure that everything's nice and clean and shiny. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot some brake cleaner on here and scrub all this grease off. Alright guys, as you can see, they're nice and clean. They don't have to be perfect. I just like to see at least a little bit of shininess. Therefore you can see that it goes along with, like I said, all the new parts putting on. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put these washers and nuts back on here. Anything that I have to put back that has a circular pattern. Basically, if you ever took a rim off a car, it's the same concept. Just put it back and put it in a star pattern just to make sure everything's nice and tight evenly, guys. And again, just a reminder, just make sure these are all put on right before you put the hub back on. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of issues when you're putting this back, the rear of the bike. Also, another thing I forgot to mention, guys, so this washer, I know you can't see very well, but it actually has a flat side to it. Just keep in mind the flat side goes towards the sprocket, okay? Remember guys, just a reminder, don't forget to put your spacer back on. That's why we had our parts on the left and on the right side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the spacer on the left and on the right side and continue there. I'm gonna go ahead and lubricate the rear axle as well. What I use is just a high temperature grease from your local auto parts, and I've never had any issues using that, guys. So of course, everybody has their own preference. I'm not saying that's what we should use. Just putting my opinion out there to say that what's worked best for me.
Crying, saying you mishanded me around, gave you chances and you blew it. You so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music. I'm saying.
Guys, another tip while you're putting your wheel back on, it's best to open up the caliper just a little bit. And what I mean by that is just grab a flathead screwdriver and just pry on it to open it up more, and it'll be easier to put on your brake disc. Warning, by tightening the bolt with the impact, I did not. All I used the impact for is to screw it in quicker, but I did not tighten it, guys. Please do not use the impact to tighten this. It could strip out and you're gonna be in a big trouble. So that's it for the rear for now, guys. We're gonna go ahead and move to the front. The reason why is because we still have to put the chain on, but we can make the adjustments here in the rear. We're gonna go ahead and dive into the front sprocket and take off some of the plastics off and get that also replaced, guys. So far the way it looks like we're just gonna have to take off this link, this plastic piece, and possibly not remove this, but at least move it out the way for we can take this piece out. Now the way we're gonna move that link off, looks like just a 10mm bolt. We're gonna pop this out. Sometimes I've seen that they have markings, as you can see this one does. Make sure when you put this back together that that dot actually aligns with the gap there. It is very important, otherwise the rider is gonna know there's gonna be a difference as far as the foot play goes. I did want to show you on this specific bottle, there is a bolt back there, so just be sure not to just pull on this trying to take it off. You don't want to break it, so just keep that in mind. Front sprocket size is 14. Highly recommend you get an impact. You can do it by hand, but sometimes it could be a real struggle, so it's best to use an impact just to get that off and put it back on as well. The other thing is, we have to make sure it's in gear. If it's in neutral, all it's gonna do is spin. So we're gonna reconnect the shift link, put it in first gear, and we should be good to go. So what comes off on this side is just a bolt and a washer, guys. And again, that flat side is going towards the sprocket, so don't forget that. After that, the sprocket just comes out. Time to put the new one in. So when we put the sprocket back on, we're gonna make sure that the numbers are facing towards us, okay? So since we have the front cover already off, that's the only way we're gonna be able to put the chain on the front sprocket with the cover removed. So we're gonna go ahead and get the new chain and go ahead and put it on the sprockets. The next part we're going to do on the chain is actually rivet the chain. Before you actually do this on your own bike, have another person that has done it before. Just keep an eye that you do it right. The last thing you want to do is put it on incorrectly and that chain falls off while you're riding. It could definitely be a dangerous situation, guys, so just be sure that someone that knows how to rivet chains at least double checks your work before you ride off on your new chain, guys. So your rivet link basically comes with 4 gaskets. You want to lubricate the seals and then put the seals in, and then go ahead and add more grease in there. Again, a lot of grease is not a bad thing, guys. Not enough will be a huge problem. So once these are greased up, we're going to go ahead and put it in the chain. We're going to put those 2 seals on the other side here, and then finally put the cover on there, and then press it together. That's where we're going to flare the end of these links. So now that we got the front sprocket and rear sprocket in, guys, we're going to go ahead and reassemble everything, put everything back together, and then we can finally adjust the chain to where it needs to be. Therefore, the bike is good to go on that part. We're gonna adjust left and right side, and just you can see notches there. What we have to do is make sure that these notches are the same on both sides. Once we get that done, we have to make sure we have at least an inch of slack on the chain. Then all we got to do is tighten the adjuster, and then that's all is to it. Is just to be sure, spin your wheel, guys, just to make sure that nothing's grabbing like it shouldn't. So in this case, we're good. It's moving freely. Make sure you tap on those rear brakes. Remember, we opened that caliper up, so that means those brakes are not engaging just yet. It's grabbing now. We'll move on to the adjustment. So as you can see, we got the slack we're looking for, guys. You definitely want some slack in there. Otherwise, if you get that too tight, you're gonna cause a kink to your new chain, and then you're gonna have to replace it all over again. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the oil change on the bike. On this specific model, we don't have to take any fairings off. We're going to be able to take off the drain plug without taking the fairings, which is an awesome thing. Nor do we have to take any plastics off for the oil filter here. As you can see, it's already exposed. So all we got to do is take it off, put the new one on, drain the oil, put the new oil in, and we're good to go on the oil change. We're gonna go ahead and start the bike, let it run for a little bit, fill up the oil filter, and then recheck our oil level. After letting the bike run for a little bit, let the bike sit for at least a good 10-15 minutes or so, just to make sure all the oil sinks down to the oil pan, for we can get a more accurate reading on our dipstick. So on this particular bike, do not screw in the cap. You're supposed to check the oil just by placing it in and checking where it's at. We're gonna go ahead and clean it the first time. We're gonna go ahead and stick our dipstick in, take our dipstick back out, and see where our oil level's at. Now, as you can see, we don't see any oil yet. So this is the part where we slowly put some more oil in until it reaches our line on top. We're gonna go ahead and see where we're at now. And there you have it, guys. So we're good here. We're gonna go ahead and put this back and tighten this back up. All right, guys, now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna move on to the last part, which is what we got in this box here. Got a couple of parts. So what this is basically, guys, is just a phone mount, just to be able to have your phone close to you while you're riding. I have one of these personally on my own bike, and I've never had an issue with it going 100 and, well, I'm not gonna say how fast, but I'm going pretty fast on the highway and my phone has not fallen off. So as you can see, we got the phone mount on, guys, and there's not much to it. It's basically just a clamp in the front, tie it down, and then the rest of the parts just screw on together. It's pretty sturdy for what it is, guys. So what we're gonna do here, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and just zip tie this, but we are gonna give it enough slack for this wheel to turn all the way to the right where nothing pulls. So keep that in mind. So we're just gonna zip tie this part. I don't know if you can see very well, but to the tank bracket, and it shouldn't be in the way of anything, even if you are wanting to take off the plastics or the tank itself. And then we're gonna go ahead and remove the seat, guys, and get this electrical done. As you can see, there's only 2 wires to this, so there's not much to it at all. And to get access to the battery, which is obviously under the seat, guys, you just pull these both right and left side pieces off. It's just holding by a little tab there that you just pull out from this rubber piece. And this front part is just holding in by this little tab. So it's real easy to get off. Don't pull it off too hard, guys. If you're putting too much effort in this, you're doing something wrong. So just be careful. You don't want to break these. Once you get that done, there's 2 screws on each side, one on the right, one on the left. Be careful with those. They're known to easily strip out if you're not using the right screwdriver. And that's it. You just pop the seat off. And just keep in mind they're color coordinated, guys, so there's really no way to get this wrong. Just pay attention to make sure you're putting on the right color. We have a wiring going underneath here, underneath the subframe, a little bit under the tank, and then we have our negative, which is connected here. I put the positive, one of the fuses, which this fuse should go to the clock and speedometer and some of the electronics that probably go in the front. This one's always hot, so meaning even if the key's on or off, it's always going to be on. So that always gives power to the phone mount. So that gives the rider the ability to still use that switch and doesn't have to go by using the key on the bike and giving it power. Just another safer way of doing this in case wire causes a short. It'll pop that fuse. Pretty much finished. We're gonna put it back together, put the seat on, put the cover on, and side panels on, and we should be good. We're finally done with everything on this bike. Bolt mounts, chain and sprockets are good. The adjustments are great. Also the oil change. That's gonna complete this video, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if I haven't said it before, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, guys, show your support. And I appreciate it, guys. Until then, guys, I'll see you.